Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining me today on my podcast. This is why I'm not invited. It's your one and only favorite unhinged chaos demon, Nova Nebula. It's Monday. It is the 23rd of February, and I don't know about you, but literally the beginning of this year has been flying by. I honestly cannot believe that we're literally at the end of February. My birthday is right around the corner, and I am super excited. So, I just want to say, welcome back. As you know, whenever I open my mouth, most people they look away, but you're still here. So, today's episode is a little bit different, but kind of not. I decided to kind of, I guess, Google some kink trends that are happening because I've been kind of seeing like a waveform of certain kinks and like certain fetishes going a certain way. So, you know that your boy likes research, data, and charts. So, what did I do? I looked things up. Was not ready for the results. I actually found out that gooning was actually named Fetish of the Year for 2026. I'm not, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm really not going to say what gooning is. I'm sure that everyone knows what gooning is. And if you don't know what it is, please feel free. You have a cell phone, you have some kind of device in which you can look that up, but definitely look that up on your own. I really cannot honestly, I am flabbergasted. I can't believe that gooning is literally named Fetish of the Year. And the reason why is basically it's for a whole bunch of different categories, or a whole bunch of different like reasons as to why gooning has become the kink of the year. One is basically the massive growth within gooning itself. How many people have looked it up? How many people are researching it, or are they watching it on different types of porn sites? And also how the community is talking about it. So it went from being like a little niche to being a major practice in mainstream kink and basically awareness. So yeah, that definitely, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know what I was thinking. I was actually maybe hoping, maybe for some more educational topics or aspects or content or, toys, or I was not expecting gooning. Also, another thing that actually is gaining more traction, and I think it's about time, and I think it's super cool, is basically inclusivity. So I'm definitely an inclusive person, and I talk about body positivity all the time. For those of you who are not aware or don't know, I am a bigger person. So I'm definitely on the larger side of things, and I honestly love my body. My body is a temple. It took me years to look this way, right? I just wish that I had more clothing options that weren't horribly expensive. It's definitely a thing that me and a lot of other larger sized people have come into issues with. I don't understand why a couple of lacy things is like $35. But anyways, different story. But I was also in my research of all things kink and like kink trends and growth, body positive fetishes and fetish exploration and inclusivity have increased overall. And I think this is great. So a lot of the community is now increasing celebration and making it more of a point to state that they are a body diversity place. They are celebrating non traditional aesthetics. And this shift is actually really good because it actually reflects a huge cultural push towards inclusivity, as well as acceptance of the different bodies, identities, and basically how these bodies and identities evolve and interact in kink. Now, I know what you're thinking to yourself. We're inclusive. We're inclusive. Oh my gosh, what do you mean? Wake up, okay? Don't pretend that you don't see it, okay? There are very specific types of fetishes that have very specific types of bodies associated with those fetishes, all right? I'm not trying to, yuck anyone's kink, and I'm not saying that you can't not have a preference, you can't have a like. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that there are some places where the non-traditional gender, your gender queer, your plus sized bodies are not being celebrated. They are not being included, and they are not being respected. So the fact that inclusivity as well as body positivity, specifically for non-traditional aesthetics, is becoming a really big increasing area of all areas kink, this is amazing. Another really interesting thing that kind of took me by surprise in one of the top trending, I guess, happenings within kink is technology, and basically smart toys. There are so many new gadgets. There are so many toys, and a lot of the newer aspects of the sex toy work or market, and even the fetish toys, like I've seen some amazing electric floggers for electro play. I have never seen these things before. I am super stoked. And yes, there are definitely things that we can use from home to make this happen. I am an electro girl. I am an electro person, right? With that being said, so this last weekend during one of the events, I had a great conversation with someone else, and they brought up a person that actually used to make electroconductive shirts or electroconductive outfits, specifically in terms of crochet. And I want you all to know that definitely has triggered my ADHD brain. I love crocheting. Haven't done it in a whole minute, in a little bit. And the reason for this is something stupid. I really just don't have access to my crafting things, but I'm literally going to go buy myself crafting sets, well, the basic ones, and I'm definitely going to be creating and making electroconductive clothing for myself. Cannot wait. Side note, anyways, we learn, we grow, we adapt, right? But realistically, all of this tech integrated toys and these play are basically reshaping how we explore and express ourselves in kink. And a lot of the people that are benefiting from tech gadgets are basically people that are having long distance dynamics, which I think is fantastic. They're able to have more interactive time with each other, have more sensory experiences. And I think that's valuable to a long distance dynamic, because it can strengthen the bond. So I'm really kind of curious and also weirded out. Tech is a lot for me. I'm not tech savvy. I don't know where it's going to go, but I don't know if I'm ready for those answers quite yet. One of the bigger aspects, too, that is always making a scene in the scene is fetish fashion. I think I talked about that before, that latex is now becoming kind of more of a staple, but even more so, some really vanilla designers are using the more lifestyle, traditional look. So more leather, more straps, more shine, more sheen. And let me let you know, I love it so much. I wish my bank account could get me all the cool things. One of the biggest new items that I have seen that I would love, absolutely 100% love to see in the future, is the integration of creation of plant-based leathers. You heard me right. There is a company out there that do plant-based leather. It's supposed to be more sustainable, all of that good stuff. Obviously, I don't know all of the details about it. I believe it's aloe, like the aloe vera plant that does it. It's expensive. It's horrifically expensive. And I wish it wasn't, because I would absolutely love to try to make some of the stuff myself, but I am not as skilled in leather making as I would like to be. Definitely putting that as a pin for my 2026 list of things to learn and things to do. So as I was talking to you about this, I literally looked it up because I forgot the name. The aloe vera plant that is actually the vegan leather is called aloe skin. And essentially it's made from aloe vera fibers as well as recycled materials. And essentially it's vegan, obviously. It is going to be used for luxury accessories. So far, they've been using the aloe skin for iPhone cases and Apple wristband stuff. One of the things that is pretty notable is that basically they're saying the characteristics are soft, high quality, and durable. So it's very comparable in feel, touch, and texture, as well as longevity as leather, which I think is nice. Now, while I was in this whole learning about the aloe vera leather, I definitely fell into a little bit of a black hole, which I won't be going horribly in depth today. We're going to just talk about it really quickly. They use cactus, they use pineapple, mushrooms, even they're talking about even using grapes and apples. And it's not the way you think. They're basically using like the leaves, right? The more leafy portions, and a lot of positive connotations are coming for this. Obviously, it's going to be vegan, right? So we're going to talk about the cruelty-free aspect, the animals' care, things like that. I am not vegan. I am not vegetarian. I am a huge omnivore. I ate meat. I've actually been eating more plant-based things because it's the diabetes, right? But with that being said, I understand and feel very passionately about animal welfare, not just animal rights. But in the same aspect, I do think that everything should be treated with care and respect. I think that it would be an interesting take to start having plant-based leathers in the scene. I would buy it. Right now, hands down, I would buy it. I would definitely want to see how, the aloe vera leather feels and it weighs and hits and slaps and sounds compared to the traditional leather. Could we really know the difference? Right? Would the sub feel the difference? Also, one of the positive parts about this, besides like cruelty free, things like that, is it would reduce like the waste, the plant waste from the industry of where we consume a lot of the vegetables by about 50%. Again, don't quote me. I did a light deep dive, but I don't want to go too far in. I just think it's something cool, something a little bit unique. And honestly, what would you do? Would you buy aloe vera leather or mushroom leather or pineapple leather whips? Definitely put that in the comments. I do want a feedback poll on that. I think that would be cool. There was also a film festival out in London, and it was called London's Fetish Film Festival. And that was actually a really big event. And I think that's really cool because we're no longer being like turned into a Hollywood thing. Because we all know that Hollywood is not an accurate portrayal of, kink or BDSM. Look at 50 Shades of Grey. Okay. With that being said, I think it's really good that we're having these really large outlets that are having honest expressions, honest creations of our actual lifestyle, not from a director, actor, false narrative. Again, what you see on the big screen is acting, and I'm not against that. But the portrayal of BDSM in Hollywood films and a lot of the film industry, again, it's dark, it's taboo, it's pressure, it's the loss of consent. So I'm really excited. I'm going to look up some of the films and get back to you. Maybe I'll do a film review. I'm really excited again that this London Fetish Film Festival actually had people from the scene that are experienced dominants, experienced submissives, experienced wax players and fire players come together to create a visual, honest representation of us as people in the lifestyle. I love that. I love that it's bringing it more to light and that we're able to have these conversations that are honest. And it's not about the money. It's not about the shock and awe. It's about the genuine lifestyle experience. Today is going to be a shorter episode. And again, this was just something that I kind of fell down the rabbit hole with. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to keep actually going down this rabbit hole and report back more later. I'm going to watch some films and let you know how it went. Thank you again for joining me on this week's episode of This Is Why I'm Not Invited. I'm Nova Nebula. Whenever I open my mouth, people look away. But you're still here, and I can't wait to see you soon. Make sure you hydrate and have one hell of a weekend.